Not sweating the small stuff can be a struggle, but turning your frown upside down is easier than you think. Psychologist to the stars, Dr. Cason from Los Angeles is here with 10 everyday easy ways to improve your mood. Dr. Cason, thank you so much for being here. Dr. Greg, as I like to call him. This is really an interesting topic because I always think or wonder why there are some people who are always in a bad mood, no matter what's going on around them, very bitter. And then there's some people who just they don't let anything affect them. They're always happy. They're always in a good mood. Why is that?
Well, we may be talking about two different things here. One is temperament, which is just how people are born. Some people are just born gloomy Gusses, and some people are smiling Sams, if you will, when they're born. So sometimes we all see this in babies. There are some babies that are just sour and some babies that are just very gleeful. And that temperament does seem to go on through life. But there's another skill that all of us can develop, and that's resilience. We can all learn to roll with the punches. And in fact, some of the things I'm going to talk about today will help people develop resilience.
How important is it for an individual to become resilient?
It may be one of the most important things we can do, especially in today's society where everything comes now, right when we want it. And whenever we don't get what we want, we get very upset. So developing resilience will help us to roll when things get bad. Let's say when the economy goes bad, or we can't pay a bill, or someone gets a severe illness. We have to be able to bounce back.
And it sounds like it would even help with remaining healthy, just because the stress levels and things like that that go along with always being in a bad mood.
No, you hit it right on the head. Actually, people who are in a better mood do tend to have better health outcomes in all kinds of ways.
All right. All right, so you have 10 easy ways to improve your mood, and I'm reading over these, and we're going to put them up on the screen a little bit.
Yes.
Boy, these are really easy.
These are really easy. That's why everyone can do them. And in fact, the first one's probably the easiest and maybe what most people are going to say they don't want to do. It's the one I hear most people don't want to do, and that's to eat breakfast.
Wow.
Believe it or not, eating breakfast is to me, the meal of mental health. It's also the meal of all kinds of other things, but it's definitely the meal of mental health because what it does is it keeps your mood steadier throughout the day. We also know that people who eat breakfast and children who eat breakfast tend to learn better and keep the information in their head longer, and they have better work performance as they go throughout the day.
Wow, that's interesting. So that's important then. It is to eat breakfast.
And in fact, just to say, the kind of breakfast that we want to have is usually a heavier breakfast, a moderate to heavier breakfast. What Mom used to make, or bacon and eggs, is actually a pretty good breakfast, believe it or not. And if you can't have a heavy breakfast, then at least have something light in the morning and then have a mid-morning snack.
Okay. No, just drinking coffee in the morning. All right, let the sun shine in is our second one.
Let the sun shine in. Right when you get up in the morning, open all the drapes, open all the curtains, and let the sun shine in. In fact, about 20 minutes of sun exposure a day does seem to improve people's mood overall, almost as well as antidepressant medication. And one of the very best things we can do to help people who are depressed or even also having anxiety is to help them have sun exposure. Now, sometimes in very hot climates like Fresno, sometimes it isn't advantageous to open up your windows because then you make your house hotter. In that case, they have light therapy lamps that somebody can get. They're about $100, sometimes a little more, that they can sit in front of these very bright light therapy lamps to be able to get 20 minutes of sun exposure.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know that existed. Okay, take a walk.
Take a walk. In fact, we know that exercise is on par with antidepressant medication for people who are depressed. It also helps a great deal with anxiety. The exercise in general is something that we're missing. So if someone can just go out and take a walk, 20 minutes preferably, or split it up throughout the day, exercise in general is one of the best health outcomes.
All right, make yourself smile.
Make yourself smile. You know, we often forget about this, but actually when we smile, we actually feel better, believe it or not. Even sometimes when we're not feeling bad. There was an Australian study several years ago where they put a pencil in people's mouths and forced them to smile. And they forced them to smile in what's called a Duchenne smile, which is when you wrinkle your cheeks and your eyes like this.
Yeah.
And that actually improved people's moods. We all know that frowns are contagious, but so are smiles too, so the best thing to do is to smile and smile at somebody else.
Oh, that's a fantastic tip. Speak up and take 5. What are those two?
Okay, speak up is say what you want and why you want it. Be assertive. Most people who aren't assertive, actually, yes, and it's one to practice for the time. Assertiveness is incompatible with anxiety and does help people overall. taking 5 goes along because it also is incompatible with anxiety. That's relaxation. So actually turning off the TV, turning off the radio, putting the kids maybe while they're at school or helping them be in playtime, and to sit there for 5 minutes and to be able to meditate for 5 minutes or just sit there quietly for 5 minutes. Maybe turn on music without words and just follow the notes. And if you have real trouble relaxing, a good thing to do, and you can do this with kids, is to go tight like a rubber band, limp like a noodle. Tight like a rubber band, limp like a noodle. Do it 3 different times, and then that'll help your body relax, and then you can sit there for 5 minutes.
I bet your kids can do that too.
They certainly
can.
It's
like a game for them. All right, so another one is say oh well to disappointment and talk it out with another adult.
Okay, so saying oh well to disappointment is developing frustration tolerance, and we all have disappointment, so it's better to say oh well than to be able to get caught up in the disappointment. So if something doesn't go your way, just say oh well and get on with it. In fact, one of the ways to develop frustration tolerance is to actually put frustration in your way. I tell people a way to develop a skill is when you go to the grocery store, stand in the longest grocery line or park in the farthest parking space. Or when you're going to go to the doctor, get there 1/2 hour early and sit there. Don't play with an iPod and don't listen to anything. You can feel free to read, but develop the patience and develop the ability to monitor and manage your own emotions.
Oh, patience, that's so important. All right, talk it out with another adult.
Talk it out.
Yeah, talk it out, and then play with a child or pet, and go to bed on time. How important are our last 3?
Sorry about that. Yes, take it out, talk it out. This is just important. Good to connect with another adult on an even basis. Playing with a child pet, have tons of fun with your kids, and going to bed on time. In fact, we know sleep is one of the most important things, so keep to a regular schedule. Go to bed on time. Get 7 to 9 hours sleep, preferably 8. That's the good amount, and this will help you all day long the next day.
Gosh, those are such great tips and easy to do. We have about 30, 45 seconds. Talk to us about how we can help our kids also, because you said that we're kind of born with our temperament. And does the way that our kids are raised, does that have a lot to do with?
Extremely important, and somehow that's getting shoved aside because we keep focusing on medical models and not focusing on the fact that we can actually do things to help our kids. One of the most important things in these things, we can sit down and have breakfast with our kids. That will develop healthier eating habits and actually has been known to be preventative against eating disorders in later life. So if a parent shows these good habits in front of the child, they're going to learn them for later life. Do as I do, not as I say.
Oh,
kids have to watch you doing it. They're not going to believe what comes out of your mouth. They're going to believe what you do.
That's so true.